Hello everybody, Steve here from Firebox Stove. I wanted to test to find out how much difference changing the headspace on the Trangia alcohol stove makes. Now, let me show you what I mean here. If you open up a Trangia and just drop that into the Firebox Nano, if I measure the headspace from the top of the Trangia to the bottom of the pot, is almost exactly 1 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is leave one set up that way, and then I'm going to set up another one with the lid of the Trangia, spacering it up. Now, Hiram Cook has done a lot of testing and he has a lot of experience with alcohol stoves. And he really feels that the sweet spot on the Trangia alcohol stove is approximately 1 inch. Well, adding that cap underneath the Trangia changes the headspace from 1 3/4 to 1 1/8. So that's really close to having the perfect sweet spot, the perfect headspace for the Trangia alcohol stove. So I'm going to set these up this way and just see how much of a difference it makes. I'm going to zero these out so I have exactly 2 ounces of fuel in each one. And then we'll just do a boil test. Okay, so there's 2 ounces for that one. And we'll get 2 ounces in this one. .1, so I'm just going to put a teeny bit more in this one. It's kind of moving around a little bit. Anyway, so that should be pretty close. I want those to be the same so that they'll come to a blossom at about the same rate. I'll go ahead and move my scale out of the way and we'll set these nanos up. I'm going to center that cap down there. So this one is a 1 1/8 headspace, and this one over here is 1 3/4 of an inch headspace. I'm going to go ahead and get these both lit. I have identical pots in the back that have the identical temperature and the amount of water. Everything is the same. And we'll let these kind of, they both have come to a bloom now. And I'm just going to move this camera a little bit closer. I might change the angle just a little bit on that. And let's go ahead and start the timer and put our pots on. And let's see where this goes. I'll go ahead and turn off the light so you can kind of maybe see a little bit of what's going on with the flame. And let's just take this camera off so I can give you a little better view here. Okay, so this is the 1 3/4 of an inch headspace. And this is closer to 1 inch headspace. This is about 1 1/8 headspace right there. So you can see the flame is quite a bit different. And I think what happens when the headspace is closer is the alcohol burner itself gets a little bit more heat feedback. So the alcohol reaches a higher temperature, and in turn it basically turns the alcohol burner to a higher level, a higher output, because it's running a little bit hotter. Okay, we're at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to lift the lids. Here, I'll turn on the light here. We'll get a little more, shed a little more light on the subject. And I'm going to lift these lids at the same time so you can see the progress for yourself and see where we're at. Okay, this one is actually starting to rise, and this one is not. So let's let him make a little more progress here, hopefully without me giving one or the other any kind of an advantage. I want this to be a good test. It sounds like this one may actually be boiling now. Okay, so this one is actually boiling, and this one is not. And what Hiram may be thinking of as far as that sweet spot is maybe that's the most efficient way of using the stove, is at a 1-inch height. And that's, I kind of wondered that, because I have gotten really good boil times with the 1 3/4 headspace, and so that I wondered exactly what he was taking into consideration when he said that. Oh, I forgot to call out the time when this one was boiling, but hopefully you could see that there in the video. It's 6 minutes now, and this one is now coming to a boil at about 6 minutes. So this last portion of the video I will leave or keep uncut so that you can kind of judge the time by the timer on the video itself. So I'm going to go ahead and snuff these both out. They've both come to a boil, and this will be allowing them both to run for approximately the same amount of time. So it won't really necessarily be the amount of fuel used to get it to a boil, but it'll rather be how much fuel to run it for this duration of time, I guess. So I'm going to set these both aside and make sure I'll be able to get those snuffers on there. And let's go ahead and put these out. And then I'll let those cool a little bit, and we'll weigh them. Okay, here's an empty Trangia that we can zero this out with. Okay, so we're all zeroed out. So this will be the 1-inch headspace. So 1.8 ounces remain, according to that. And this will be the 1 3/4 of an inch headspace. This is 1.7 ounces. So this one did use more fuel. So anyway, there's the information. You can use it however you would like. But it does show us that the deeper headspace does work really well for a high temperature. And maybe if you want to slow the burn down, then a closer temperature. And so maybe I had it backwards. There's actually less feedback potentially with it being closer rather than more feedback that I originally had assumed. So anyway, I hope you all learned something from this test. I think I have, and we'll just take that and use it however we can. And I thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have happy holidays.